no more. I got the horses in the back now. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Because I'm gonna ride till I can't go more. Down cross town, living like a rock.
What's up, y'all? My name is Kiki Keeks, aka Keeks, aka Key, and I am back with another video. So I decided to do like a little get ready with me without the robe. I'm just gonna talk. That's just how I feel right now. I'm gonna talk about my time at UND, and then I'm gonna talk about transferring into Minnesota. The whole shebang. I'm gonna give y'all all the tea. If you're thinking about being a student athlete, then listen to this video. I'm gonna start like a college series where I talk about my life as a student athlete and what I make of it. And so I guess this is just gonna be my first part. If you're thinking about sending your child off to college to be a student athlete, then make sure you listen to this video because I'm gonna tell you the pros and the cons, kind of. I'm gonna make a second video that's a lot more organized. Bear with me. I know it's been a long time since I've been in college. Not really that long. It's only been like, when did I graduate? 2016? It hasn't been that long. 3 years? Whatever, that's not long at all. I went to University of North Dakota, which is in Grand Forks, North Dakota. A very small town, predominantly white. The only black people were there were first generation African students or Black American student athletes. There's a whole separate culture that we have compared to the culture that a lot of different countries in Africa have. On the track and field team, y'all, we had 3 Black Americans. We had me, Q, and DeMonte. Q ended up leaving after the first year, and then there was just me and DeMonte. There was a Black Canadian, a Jamaican, and there was a student athlete from Zimbabwe. And so, that's what we had on our team. I guess I have to rewind to how I even picked UND. So what happened was I was being scouted by a few other schools, and then I had some schools that didn't actually reach out to me to be a student athlete. The biggest factor that played in my schooling was picking a place where I would be able to be financially stable. And so basically all my school stuff would be taken care of, and I didn't have to stress over that. But at the end of the day, I drew my school out of a hat. That's how it happened. East Carolina University, they were actually offering me a lot of money, but I would still have to take out loans. And then the other school that was offering me money was University of North Dakota, and they were offering a full scholarship. I visited ECU, loved it, y'all. Like, that was like being there. I know I would have been a completely different person than what I am now. It was so cultured. In the sense of Greek life, in the sense of a Black community, in the sense of all of the stuff that I was looking for in the school, I found it there. However, they just weren't offering me enough money. And so that's why I ended up picking my school out of a hat. And UND came up 3 times, and so that's where I went. Yeah, that's how I ended up at UND. The coach, amazing. I'm not gonna say his name. He was the main reason why I even considered going to UND. It wasn't even about the money. It was more about how much I believed in him and how much he believed in me. I ended up going to UND, and I hated it. The first year when you go to school, this is how, when I was talking to other student athletes, and I was reflecting back on my experience, then it's like the first year you're just like, you know, getting your feet wet, like filling everything out, making a name for yourself, because as soon as you go to college, then you're just like, I'm an adult now, I can do what I want, that really wasn't what I was on, because I was already making like adult decisions and do that stereotypical college phase where everybody gets crazy, go drunk, go stupid. The program was very unorganized for me. The town was very small. There was only one Walmart. There weren't a lot of stores. Compared to my time in Madison, Wisconsin, it was a lot bigger than that. And so I think I didn't pay attention to that as much when I went on my visit. And I didn't pay attention to the amount of, I did pay attention to the amount of Black people, but I don't know, it was just different when you're actually there. What sparked this whole topic is I seen an article talking about the black girl in a white space. Yo, this is exactly how I felt. The title was I'm exhausted from trying to be the right kind of black girl at work, but in this case it was the right kind of black girl at school. And so on my team I was the only black girl, and I got like questions like, why are your nipples this color? And like a whole bunch of like, it was a whole bunch of ignorance, just because a lot of the white people that went to that school that were on that team had never come into contact with black people, and their idea of what black people, how black people acted, was what they seen on TV. There's just some questions that does not need to be asked, and so that was what I was dealing with there. I didn't feel like I could completely be myself, just because it was like you have to go into survival mode. When you're in college, then you're just like, bright eyes, this is supposed to be everything, the best part of your life, where you make all of your friends that are gonna stay forever, and this is gonna shape you into who you're supposed to be. And I felt like I had a mask on the entire time, and it was tiring because I couldn't be myself. In a sense of like, I didn't want to do the wrong thing and reinforce the stereotype. For black people, when you're around white people growing up, then you already know the culture. You already know how to act and how to code switch and a whole bunch of stuff that I feel like we shouldn't need to do in the first place, which is why I stopped. This need to want to be accepted. And I feel like everybody has that need to want to be accepted. And so I ended up actually just distancing myself from a lot of my white colleagues, my white teammates. There were a select few that I talked to, but other than that, then I was just like, all y'all are racist. There's that racist behind your back stuff that I was dealing with there. And it was just like you wouldn't say these things to my face, but you literally talk about me behind my back and make up stuff. And y'all, yeah, so I stuck to my black group. My group, which consisted of a black Canadian, a Jamaican, and my black friend. I had 2 black friends, but one moved away and went to Minnesota. So my first year, my coach ended up leaving. After my freshman year, he ended up leaving, devastating me. I literally sat on the phone crying with my teammate, like, how could he do this? Granted, I understand afterwards, the year later, I understood exactly why he did what he did. And it kind of like showed me, at the end of the day, all you have is yourself and your life to look back on. And so you're essentially going to do whatever you want to do to make you happy. And so that's what he did in that situation. And so yeah, that whole thing went down. I wanted to transfer then. Actually, I only had 1 year under my belt, and it was mediocre. It was mediocre AF. When I say mediocre, I was breaking records as a freshman at UND in one event over and over and over again, just because the standard was very low. Yes, it made me happy to do that, but at the same time, it's just like, this record was so mediocre to begin with. Like, and people made a big deal out of it because it's a small town. It didn't mean anything in a bigger college. So long story short, I waited a year, and was so unhappy that year. I really was. And so I stuck around the people that made me happy, the people who had raw, good, positive energy. And that is what ultimately got me through my freshman and sophomore year of college at UND. It's an experience that I'm glad that I went through. Let me tell y'all about this prank, because this prank actually kind of really sent everybody overboard on the team, including the coaching staff. And so what happened was, it was me and my friends, my black friends. We were so unhappy, and we'd express how unhappy we were and yada yada yada. So unhappy. And so we decided to play a prank on April Fool's Day. And so what we did was we tweeted. Mind you, when you're a student athlete, you don't have control over your social media. You're not able to post certain things. You're not able to do a lot of things. There are a lot of restrictions as a student athlete thanks to the NCAA. All of our social media accounts are being monitored. So we posted on our social media. It sucks to say this, but it was 2 of us that did it. It sucks to say this, but we're officially leaving UND. We got our release and we're going somewhere else. It's basically what we said, what we both said. And y'all, it stirred up so much stuff. We did it just because we were thinking like April Fool's ha ha he ha. Little did we know. Little did we know. I'm glad we did it because, man, with the thing that happened after that, yo, I didn't even tell you. We went into our head coach's office before we tweeted that, and we were just like, yo, we want to release. We're not happy here, yada, yada, yada. I think we want to take our talent somewhere else. And he almost, I'm not gonna get into details, but long story short, he was very hurt, and looking back, it was very childish. But yeah, that happened. We left the office and we were just like, April Fools, that was that. But we went on and we were like, we went online and did the same thing. He called us back into office and was just like, you can't do that, because I had coaches contacting me asking if I could grant a release so you could go visit their school. We heard this and we were just like, wait, so other people actually want us? This is our second year. We were like, other people actually want us? Man, forget all of this. We trying to go. He literally opened up the door to everything after that. We were like, so people are actually interested in us. Bet. We're out of this. So yeah, he kept trying to get us to sign our papers for the next year, and we weren't. Every single chance that he tried to have us sign a paper, then we were just like, no, we're not signing it. Come the summer, then we were just like, I was just like, I want to release. And little did I know, I think somebody said the head coach and my previous coach had an agreement, I don't know, this is all hearsay, had an agreement that after he left, then any of his student athletes that he recruited, which he recruited a huge class, that they could leave as well. And so I didn't know that, but that was hearsay, whatever. And so he granted me my release. The current coach, however, when we sat down and talked, y'all, granted, he was a great coach. I just didn't like the culture at UND at all. And we had a conversation before my release was granted, and he was just like, hey, are you sure that you want to be a little fish in a big pond? Because here, you're a big fish in a little pond. And I'm just like, I'm sure that's what I want to do. I'm sure that I want to improve myself. I want to push myself. I want to compete against the best of the best. I want to see what a bigger school has to offer me. I want to see how I can change and improve in a bigger school. Like, in my head, I'm just like, why would anybody say that? That just shows that you don't have any faith in me. And so that's just how I took that whole conversation that we had. I texted my coach as soon as I got the release. My previous coach, the one that recruited me to UND, I texted him like, I'm free. After my second year, I was just like, I'm free, like, pick me up, bro, come on. And so he didn't text back for a while, because I don't know if he got my release or whatever right away, like if everything was actually official. So finally, when he did text me back, then he was just like, let's set something up. I took a trip to go visit University of Minnesota, and it was amazing. Right away on my trip, they knew exactly what they were doing. They set me up with a black girl. She showed me all the black things there. And then they were in my ear talking about how we're a family and we look after you and this and that, which ended up being all talk. But yes, so that is how my whole transfer and stuff like that went. I think I'm gonna save like my life at UND for a different vlog, because this one is getting kind of long. After my sophomore year, I was so fed up with UND. I was so fed up with the culture, with the people, with the area, with life there. I was so fed up with how I'm not able to be myself there. And I was so fed up that I didn't have a community. I had my uncle call me once a week to leave a prayer on my voicemail. My community back in Madison was so strong after I went to college that I was always reaching back out to people. Granted, I never really visited like, I never really visited back home. I probably visited, my freshman year, I probably visited back home twice, and it was only a 4-hour drive. And I think that was for holidays or something like that. And so It's not like I was homesick. It's just like the community there was just lacking. I want y'all to take away from this is, if you're not happy, change it. There's no reason to sit in a circumstance that you're sitting in, feeling like there's no hope, or dealing with some of the BS that you deal with. You're in control of your life. You can change your life. Granted, everybody's resources aren't the same, but you're supposed to make the best of what you have. If you're not happy where you are in life, change it, make changes. Like, don't just sit there and take it. I do think happiness is a choice. When you're able to change how you think about things, let me tell y'all what worked for me. So when I was able to change my circumstances, and when I was able to change my thought process along, like, cause I could have made UND work if I really wanted to, but I knew that there was something bigger and better out there for me. So I changed the way I thought. I changed the way I looked at things. I changed my surrounding. I wrote down what I deserved, and then I chased it. I went after it. And so, like, I do believe happiness is a choice. And if you're not happy, then that's something that you're not giving to yourself. You're not advocating for yourself in some way, somehow. Whether it's your mindset or the situation that you're in. Life's what you make it. You can sit around and complain all day about what you're going through, or you can get up and change it. You can do something to change the situation that you're in. That's how I feel. It's just me, so. I'm still growing, I'm still learning. I haven't experienced everything, but I make the best of what I have. My thinking at that moment was not conducive to my happiness. I'm channeling Miss Erica Queen vibes. Empress vibes. So yeah, y'all. There's some good things coming. Every time, I feel like in every video, I'm always just like, there's some good things coming. No, but really, there's some good things coming. Like, I have this perspective of like, life's gonna be lit, whatever I do. Cause I'm living my true self now. At the point where I'm like, done trying to win other people over. Like, if you vibe with me, you vibe with me. If you don't, you don't. That's where I am in life. I'm grateful for all the opportunities that have been presented to me and that I've made the most of, because I've made the most out of every single opportunity that has been presented to me. This is my final look that I have right now. This has really got me wanting to start my log journey, is what this is really doing for me right now. I've been wanting to start it for the longest, but that's a topic for another day. I really appreciate you guys for staying this far. Be on the lookout for more videos about being a student athlete, what to expect. I'll make more formal videos instead of me doing my makeup and stuff like that. And so, yeah, thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to hit that like button right now. Hit the like button. Hit it right now. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.